Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, give me your good for week 15.
I've held out, but I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Okay.
The Steelers. So this was a game I know I've not been like in on the Steelers because I just think and this game kind of showed that part offensively, the limit with the Steelers.
It's fair.
But I thought with the way that Philadelphia has played like limited offensively as far as throwing the ball, that this would be like a 16-13, one of those just ugly games. And it kind of was, but Philadelphia, even though the score was close and, relatively close for a while, I think they just dominated that game. And that was really impressive to see that. What did they take the last 10 and a half minutes off the clock to go 97 yards and run it out? Like that takes a lot to do.
No, you're 100% right. And AJ Brown and the drama with Hurts, it seemed to pay off. He kind of complained, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's give him, the throwing the football and getting him going. So he had a big game, and so did Smith. And this is the thing about the Eagles. It's not just this week. It's been like they've been clicking. It seems like they're getting together. Like they're figuring out their defense. They're figuring out their offense. And I agree with you on the Steelers. I'm still like, I'm just not. I guess the Bills are kind of exploding, but then they also like had the game against the Rams. So it's just like I don't know who to pick in the AFC right now. So I'm with you. It's a good for the Eagles beating the Steelers the way that they did.
Yeah, and I mean we'll get to it, but based on injuries, I don't know how the Eagles aren't like a odds-on favorite to get out of the NFC right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. I'm gonna give my good, and this is the first time I'm doing it all year, but it's gonna be to Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. It was just really nice to see that connection work. It's probably gonna be the last time we see it the way it was, but Davante Adams especially, he had in the last 4 minutes of the game, he had 135 yards receiving, which is the most yards in a 4 minute, in the last 4 minutes of a game, the most this century. So he had that performance you saw that like over the shoulder toe tap catch. That was an amazing catch. And then Aaron Rodgers, kind of a vintage game for him, other than his completion percentage, but it was almost 300 yards, almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 79.9 QBR. Now, granted, against the Jaguars, but I have not had them in my good all year, so I feel like, you know what? Let me, they've been in my bad and ugly a lot this year. Let me give them a good because I just thought it was kind of a vintage performance by both players.
They were almost my good.
Okay.
I was close, but I'm like, the Jets are so inconsequential. But it was nice to see, like, you get that nostalgia from 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even a Packers fan, but you still see those stupid, back shoulder to Davante Adams. It's against the Jaguars, so it is what it is. But at least, if this is the end of Rodgers, at least the last few games, he can put some highlights in his retirement film.
Yeah, and if you're like the Jets, this is what you thought you were going to get with him, the last 2 years. And it's funny because the Jets haven't like lost games by a whole lot this season. There was a number of games, I think they said 7, where they went in the fourth quarter leading that they lost or something like that. And so it's kind of a letdown season for the Jets, but it's just sad, like it's nice. I should say it's nice to see that they performed here. We got to see one more last run by those two at least.
For sure.
Okay, let's you ready to move on to our bad? Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.